The green tea girl twisted her body, falsely accusing me of pushing her, and cried pitifully in hopes that my family would kick me out of the house. Little did she know, my entire family were transmigrators equipped with an anti-stupidity system. My name is Joe Ruoyu. At the age of 15, after a traffic accident, I suddenly awakened my memories and realized I had transmigrated into a typical, dog-blood, angst-filled novel. The setting was the prosperous Yunjing city, and unfortunately, I was cast as the vicious supporting female character meant to serve as a foil for the green tea female lead, Tang Wan. According to the original plot, Tang Wan was the daughter of my dad's deceased comrade. Out of pity, my parents adopted her. Using her perfectly timed tear-jerking acting skills and her fragile, delicate white lotus aura, she gradually brainwashed the entire Zhou family. My biological parents turned their backs on me, my biological brother despised me, and my fiancé broke off our engagement to pursue her. In the end, the original owner of this body was pushed to the brink of ruin and had to jump off a building to commit suicide on a stormy night. Knowing the script in advance, I spent 3 whole years forging a mind of steel, honing my trash-talking skills to peerless sharpness. I swore to myself that in this life, I would single-handedly carry the Zhou family on my back and absolutely never let this green tea play her little tricks in front of a master. I had prepared dozens of counterscripts to deal with the brain-dead moments of my parents and brother. But man proposes, God disposes. I never expected that this family didn't need me to carry them at all. Today was my 18th coming-of-age birthday party, held in the main hall of the Zhou family villa. To prepare for tonight's showdown, I wore a black velvet evening gown entirely hand-woven with 999 Swarovski crystals. It hugged my curves, sparkling and arrogant like a queen. This slaying aura was enough to crush anyone who dared to stand next to me. In contrast, Tang Wan appeared in a flimsy white chiffon dress, hair falling to her shoulders, with barely their makeup, looking like she had walked into a funeral by mistake instead of a birthday party. Just as I predicted, the classic script began. While I was standing by the marble fountain in the corner of the hall, Tang Wan walked over holding a glass of champagne. Her eyes glanced around, confirming that my parents and brother were standing not too far away, chatting with a few VIP guests. The corners of Tang Wan's lips curled into a malicious smile, but the voice that reached my ears was soft and gentle. Zhou Ruoyu, so what if you dress beautifully? In just a moment, everyone will see that you are a vicious bitch who is jealous of her adopted younger sister. Mom, Dad, and Brother Zay will kick you out of the house. After saying that, she splashed half her champagne onto her white dress, then suddenly grabbed my hand and yanked herself violently backward. Ah. Sister, why did you push me? Splash. Tang Wan fell right into the shallow pool beneath the fountain. Her falling posture was highly artistic, just enough to scrape her arm and draw a little blood, and just enough for the water to soak her thin dress, displaying the ultimate look of pitifulness. She curled up, tears falling like broken strings of pearls, her sobs echoing across the corner of the hall. Sister Ruoyu, I know you don't like me, but I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Why are you so cruel? The commotion instantly attracted the attention of all the guests. All eyes turned toward us. My dad, Zhou Jianfeng, my mom, Sun Li, and my brother, Zhou Zai, immediately parted the crowd and walked over. I sneered inwardly. Here it comes. The defining moment is here. According to the original script, my dad would give me a resounding slap. My mom would hug Tang Wan and cry, and my brother would scold me for being cold-blooded. I flexed my abs, ready to dodge my dad's slap and bounce back with a sharp, logical roasting. But no. My dad, the powerful man of the Zhou group, stepped to the edge of the pool. He didn't even glance at me. Instead, he pushed up his gold-rimmed glasses and narrowed his eyes at Tang Wan, who was shivering in the water. His calm, deeply academic voice rang out. The angle of this fall is too unphysical. According to Newton's third law, if Ruoyu pushed you from the front, the impact force would cause your center of gravity to lose balance, and you would fall flat on your back. But your flight trajectory was a parabola with a tendency to push off with your heels. Plus, your hand still held the champagne glass tightly without letting go. Unless you have a jet engine installed on your butt, it is obvious you threw yourself backward. I was stunned. Huh? What did my dad just say? Newton's third law? A jet engine on her butt? Before I could digest the shock, my mom, Madame Sunley, who was always described as weak and easily swayed, crossed her arms and threw out a disdainful remark. Did you buy that cheap white dress on Taobao or hunt for it on a live stream sale? What are you crying so dramatically for? Your tears are changing the pH level of my koi pond. Butler, get someone to bring a mop here right now. She dirted all the imported Italian marble tiles of our house. My eyes widened. Since when was my mom such a savage trash talker? But the absolute peak of comedy was my brother, Jose. He leisurely pulled his iPhone 15 Pro Max out of his suit pocket, the screen still lit. He smiled, a handsome smile, but carrying the distinct silly vibe of a tech-obsessed youth. Thank goodness, I was just testing the new mini drone I bought, flying it around the hall earlier. Coincidentally, I captured the perfect 4K 60 FPS angle, completely uncensored, of you splashing water on yourself and then jumping into the pool. Tangwan, you overacted a bit on this scene. Your facial expression when splashing the water was a bit stiff. Do you need me to airdrop this to all the guests here so we can review your acting skills? The entire banquet hall was dead silent. Even the melodious piano music stopped. Only the sound of trickling water from the fountain remained. Tangwan froze in the pool, her tears choking up in the corners of her eyes, her mouth agape as she stared at the three members of the Zhou family standing on the bank, looking at her like she was a mentally challenged alien. Her whitewashing script shattered in the blink of an eye. I stood to the side, my head buzzing. What the hell is going on? Did my entire family get possessed by an anti-stupidity system? Or did my person with a brain aura radiate onto them? Seeing that things were going south, Tangwan hastily changed her tactics. She tremblingly propped herself up, biting her lower lip until it bled, and feigned weakness to explain. Dad, Mom, Brother Zay, you all misunderstood. It must be because the floor was too slippery, so I slipped. I don't blame Sister Ruoyu, please don't be mad at her. Slipped? My mom raised an eyebrow, her voice dripping with bone-deep sarcasm. If you slipped, go see a neurologist. Don't flop around here like a stranded carp. And furthermore, who are your mom and dad? We give you food, clothes, and an education out of respect for your late father, not for you to come here acting like a cheap green tea to ruin someone else's family. Tangwan's face turned pale as a sheet. She never expected Sunli to be so blunt and ruthless, leaving her not even a shred of dignity in front of Yunjing's high society. Right at that moment, an indignant male voice rang out from the crowd, breaking the suffocating atmosphere. Enough. How can you stand there and bully such a weak girl? I turned my head. Oh, here he is. Tangwan's number one simp and spare tire, Qin Hao, the young master of the Qin group. He aggressively stepped out, took off his suit jacket, and draped it over Tangwan's trembling shoulders, glaring at my family like we were his mortal enemies. Wan Wan is so kind-hearted. She has endured you people for so many years, yet you gang up to bully her at this very party. Zhou Ruoyu, you really are a toxic woman. I blinked, the corners of my lips curling up. My family had stolen all the spotlight. Now, it was finally time for me to warm up this toxic mouth of mine. I took a half step forward, looked Qin Hao straight in the eye, and spoke in a crisp voice. Kind-hearted? Kind-hearted like a plastic offering plate, bro? If you're blind, let me donate some money for your cataract surgery. If your brain is filled with water, I'll call a septic tank truck to pump it out for you. The drone footage is right there. Are you selectively deaf or born blind to not see she directed and acted this out herself? You're already stupid, but you love playing with words. Do you think you're some overbearing CEO protecting Cinderella? Stop being so cringy, karma is going to hit you like a truck. Chin Hao's face alternated between green and red, anger contorting his facial features until he looked like a short-circuited traffic light. He didn't expect the previously silent and enduring Zhou Ruoyu to suddenly have a mouth as sharp as a razor, roasting him without stuttering a single word. The arrogance of a pampered young master made it impossible for him to accept being humiliated in public. He roared, pointing his finger straight at my face. Zhou Ruoyu, don't push your luck. Do you think just because you're the eldest miss, you can say whatever you want? You used to stalk me, and now that you see me caring for Wan Wan, you're jealous and hateful, deliberately humiliating her, aren't you? I burst out laughing, the clear sound echoing throughout the banquet hall. I lightly flipped my voluminous hair to the side, revealing diamond earrings sparkling under the crystal chandeliers, and leisurely fired back. Stalk you? Do you think you're some premium of 5 Wagyu beef? In my eyes, you're just a piece of spoiled minced meat at the wet market that even a passing dog would shake its head at because of the stench. Yet you think you're a supreme delicacy? Jealous of her? Sorry, am I jealous because she has masterful fake falling skills? Or jealous because she has a moron to act as her meat shield? A few chuckles erupted from the crowd of guests. Chin Hao was furious, blood rushing to his brain. He raised his hand, intending to slap me, but before he could touch a single hair on my head, a sturdy hand reached out and clamped tightly onto his wrist in midair. It was my brother, Jose. He squeezed Chin Hao's wrist so hard that the joints cracked. His eyes were cold as ice, and his voice was low but carried a suffocating pressure. Young Master Chin, daring to lay a hand on my sister in Zhou territory, do you think your arms are too long and want me to help you trim them? Saying that, Jose violently flung Chin Hao's hand away, making him stumble back several steps. Before Chin Hao could open his mouth to retort, my brother tapped his finger on his smartwatch. Immediately, the giant LED screen on the main stage of the banquet hall, which had been playing my birthday photo slideshow, went black. 3 seconds later, it lit up in crisp 4K resolution. The atmosphere in the hall seemed to freeze. On the screen was the drone footage. The top-down angle captured every single moment of Tang Wan, from her looking around shiftily, to her malicious smirk, her provocative words toward me, all the way to her splashing the champagne on her cheap chiffon dress, and finally, the legendary backward flop. My brother had even thoughtfully edited in a slow-motion effect at the moment she hit the water, accompanied by a giant, blinking neon caption. The Oscars are calling, the Queen of Self-Direction. The entire hall erupted in gasps. The madams and young ladies of high society began covering their mouths and whispering, looking at Tang Wan with utter contempt. Oh my God, so she directed and acted the whole thing out herself. You really can't judge a book by its cover. I knew she was trouble. Freeloading off someone else's family and still trying to frame their biological daughter. Talk about keeping a snake in the grass. Young Master Chin is truly blind. Getting led by the nose by a little bitch and still thinking he's some hero saving a beauty. Hearing these piercing whispers, Tang Wan's face went from pale to ashen. Knowing she couldn't whitewash herself anymore, she decided to unleash the ultimate move of every green tea backed into a corner, feigning a faint. She let out a weak moan, shut her eyes tightly, and went completely limp, collapsing into Chin Hao's arms. Wan Wan, Wan Wan. What's wrong with you? Chin Hao panicked, hugging her tightly. He snapped his head up to glare at my family. You people are pushing it too far. She's already fainted, what more do you want? My mom, Madame Sunli, elegantly took a sip of red wine. The corners of her lips curled up into a mocking sneer. Fainted? Butler, go to the kitchen and get me a bucket of ice water. Make sure to add extra ice cubes. Splash it right in her face to wake her up. If she still doesn't wake up, call a garbage truck. Oh, wait, my mistake, call an ambulance and send her straight to the psychiatric ward. Our Zhou family has no obligation to harbor the mentally ill. Lying in Chin Hao's arms, Tang Wan's eyelids twitched furiously, but she gritted her teeth and didn't dare open them. At this moment, my dad, Zhou Jianfeng, slowly stepped forward. The commanding presence of the head of the Zhou group instantly silenced the entire banquet hall. He looked at Qin Hao, his voice calm but carrying the weight of 1,000 tons. Young Master Qin, the joint development project for the South City Riverside urban area between the Vo and Qin groups, I officially announce its cancellation. A blind heir who cannot distinguish right from wrong, being led by the nose by a cheap theatrical stunt, is not qualified to be my partner. Go back and tell old Master Qin to get his heart medication ready, because his eldest grandson is about to ruin the Qin family's foundation. Qin Hao looked like he had been struck by lightning. The South City project was the Qin group's lifeline this year. If it was cancelled, his family's cash flow would shatter, leading to unimaginable consequences. He held Tang Wan, his lips trembling as he tried to speak, but no words came out. Finally, under the contemptuous gazes of the guests, Qin Hao could only grit his teeth. He scooped Tang Wan up and fled the banquet hall like a dog with its tail between its legs. Watching the pathetic backs of those two, I breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, the trash took itself out. But just as I was about to turn around and thank my parents and brother for their unbelievably flawless teamwork, a cold electronic voice suddenly rang out in my head. Ding! The Villain Family Anti-Stupidity System greets host Zhou Ruoyu. The family chat channel has been successfully activated. My eyes almost popped out of my head. What? A family chat channel? Immediately after, a light blue holographic interface that only I could see floated in midair. Messages rapidly popped up on the screen. Dad, baby girl, was Dad's Newton's law analysis cool just now? Reading the original script and seeing that I was supposed to slap you made me so mad I almost tore this system apart. Mom, your black velvet dress totally slayed that green tea bitch today. How dare she play her little tricks in front of a transmigrated best actress like me? Back in the modern world, I acted in more palace intrigue dramas than the grains of rice she's eaten. Brother, little sis, was my video editing top tier or what? Good thing the system gave me an invisible drone, otherwise where would I get such crisp angles? I'll send you the raw file later as a keepsake. I stood rooted to the spot, my brain completely overloaded. I looked up at the three most powerful people in the Zhou family standing in front of me. My dad gave me a mischievous wink, my mom subtly tilted her chin with a triumphant smile, and my brother shot me a thumbs up. Oh my God. It wasn't just me who transmigrated, my entire modern family got dragged into this dog blood novel by the system. Furthermore, we were all reading from the same script, and our collective mission was to carry me and completely shatter Tang Wan's female protagonist halo. I bit my lip, trying to suppress the laughter bubbling in my throat. I quickly typed a reply in the chat. Our family is absolutely slaying, but don't celebrate just yet. The final boss hasn't appeared. My scumbag fiancé, the official male lead of this novel, is about to make his entrance. The moment my message sent, the chat exploded with notifications. Brother, final boss? Sounds thrilling. Let me open up my laptop and prep an Excel sheet to calculate mental and economic damages. He dares to mess with my sister? I'll make him sleep on the streets in his boxers. Mom, the original male lead, huh? That overbearing CEO archetype who's always smirking, acting 30% mocking and 70% cold? I hate those arrogant little brats the most. In the modern world, slapping the faces of perverted directors was easier than eating candy for me. Some snot-nosed kid is nothing. Dad, let's see what contract he tries to use to pressure our family. The G Group has been eyeing a new energy project lately. All I have to do is snap my fingers and cut off his supply chain. I almost burst out laughing. Having a family united in the goal of destroying the plot offered a sense of security that was absolutely off the charts. Just then, the massive mahogany doors of the banquet hall were violently pushed open. A gust of cold wind swept in, bringing with it a man and a woman. It was none other than Tang Wan and my nominal fiancé, Ji Mohan, the crown prince of the Ji group. It turned out that after Qin Hao ran out to the gates carrying Tang Wan, she cunningly used the excuse of making him fetch the car. She then stood there crying pitifully right as Ji Mohan's car arrived. Seeing his white moonlight soaked to the bone and looking disheveled, the blood rushed straight to Ji Mohan's head. He grabbed her hand and aggressively marched back into the banquet hall to seek justice. Ji Mohan was wearing a custom-tailored gray suit. His sharp facial features and long, narrow eyes exuded an innate arrogance. He took long strides toward the center of the hall, one arm firmly wrapped around Tang Wan's shoulders, while his other hand pointed straight at my face. His deep, cold voice echoed loudly. "Zhou Ruoyu, you are out of line. Wan is so gentle and understanding, you have no right to humiliate her. Does your Zhou family think you can use your power to bully people? How dare you bully Ji Mohan's woman? Good Lord." Hearing this classic, utterly cliché bossy CEO line in real life was so unbelievably cringe it gave me goosebumps. I rolled my eyes and lazily crossed my arms. Tang Wan pressed herself against Ji Mohan's chest, looking up at him with red, tear-filled eyes, her voice trembling with sobs. "Mohan, please don't be like this, it's my fault. I accidentally slipped and fell into the pool, ruining Sister Ruoyu's birthday party. It's only right that she scolded me. Please don't offend Uncle, Auntie, and Sister because of me." "Shut up. You're still defending her at a time like this?" Ji Mohan stroked Tang Wan's hair with a heartbroken expression, then turned to glare at me as if he wanted to eat me alive. "Zhou Ruoyu, listen well. A vicious, scheming woman like you will never be worthy of being my wife. Today, in front of all of Yunjing's high society, I officially announce that I am breaking off our engagement. I, Ji Mohan, will only marry Tang Wan in this lifetime." The banquet hall erupted in murmurs once again. After all, the Ji family was on equal footing with the Zhou family. A public annulment like this was equivalent to a direct slap in the Zhou family's face. Everyone held their breath, waiting for my reaction. Normally, a wealthy miss being dumped in public would either throw a screaming fit or collapse in despair. But I simply smirked. I slowly walked up to Ji Mohan, close enough to smell his expensive cologne mixed with his cheap arrogance. "Young Master Ji, are you done talking?" I tilted my head, my gaze as sharp as a dagger. "You want to break off the engagement? How embarrassing for you, you're a step too late. You didn't dump me, our Zhou family already kicked you to the curb." Ji Mohan frowned, clearly thinking I was just trying to save face. "Stop acting tough. Don't think playing hard to get will make me reconsider." At that moment, my dad, Zhou Jianfeng, leisurely strolled over. He didn't even bother looking at Ji Mohan. Instead, he reached out and took a document folder from his assistant, who had just rushed in. He tossed the folder onto a nearby banquet table with a heavy thud. "Young Master Ji, if your eyes aren't meant for seeing, you can donate them to medical science," my dad said dryly. This morning at 8 a.m., the Zhou Group's lawyers delivered a formal notice unilaterally terminating the engagement directly to Chairman Ji, your father. Attached was a lawsuit for reputational damage, considering you blatantly engaged in inappropriate behavior with my adopted daughter while our two families were still engaged. I suppose your father was too busy taking his heart medication to inform you. Ji Mohan's face instantly stiffened. He hurriedly pulled out his phone and, sure enough, saw over a dozen missed calls from his father. My mom, Madame Sunli, elegantly smoothed out the creases in her dress and dropped a sarcastic remark. The trash she dug out of the dumpster, our Zhou family wouldn't even bother picking back up. Do you think just because you're the crown prince, you have the right to dictate everything? Stop being delusional, young man. Without the backing and capital from the Zhou Group, that core AI project your G Group has been pouring all its resources into will probably evaporate into a pile of scrap paper by tomorrow. Auntie, don't look down on people too much. Ji Mohan gritted his teeth. The trampled ego of a male lead made him lose control. The G Group's AI project has already received funding from an anonymous foreign investor. Without the Joe Group, we will still thrive. Just you wait and see how the G Group rises up to crush you all. Brother, ha. That anonymous foreign investor he's talking about is a shell investment fund I set up using a virtual IP in the US. I just signed a preliminary agreement with him last week, planning to bait him with a high-interest loan. Who knew he'd take the bait so fast? Me, brother, you're an absolute savage. Top tier. So he mortgaged all his assets to you? Brother, bingo. He even mortgaged 30% of the G Group's shares for the loan. All I have to do is pull the plug, and the G Group can declare bankruptcy tomorrow. I tried so hard to hold back my laughter that I almost suffered internal injuries, looking at G Mohan standing there, puffing his chest out smugly like a castrated rooster. Oh, an anonymous investor, you say? I dragged out my words and clapped loudly. Well then, congratulations, young Master G. I hope that investor isn't some spectacular scam. You just go ahead and hold my white lotus of a little sister and weave your romantic dreams. But let me give you a piece of advice. Before you walk out that door, remember to pay for my family's carpet cleaning. She completely soaked the imported wool carpet. Tang Wan bit her lip until it was mangled, glaring at me with venomous resentment. She knew she had suffered a total defeat tonight. Not only did she fail to take me down, but she also caused Qin Hao and Ji Mohan to lose face in front of Yunjing's entire high society. Ruoyu, don't get cocky too soon. Tang Wan suddenly lowered her voice to a whisper just loud enough for me and Ji Mohan to hear, her face twisted with madness. Do you think you've won? Do you know what secret of the Zhou family I hold in my hands? If I expose it, your parents will be ruined, and you'll have to kneel down and beg me. Tang Wan's threat was like a stone thrown into a tranquil lake, but instead of creating the massive waves she expected, it only earned her looks from my family as if we were watching a cheap comedy sketch. I raised an eyebrow, feigning shock as I took a half step back, clutching my chest with both hands. Oh my God, I'm so scared, so scared. What secret is it? Is it the fact that my dad failed Marxist-Leninist philosophy 3 times in his youth? Or the time my mom secretly ate half a cake in the middle of the night and blamed it on the pet dog? Or, are you referring to the earth-shattering secret that you put so much effort into rummaging for in my dad's study last week? Tang Wan was stunned, her eyes widening to their absolute limits. She stammered, why you, what nonsense are you sprouting? How did you know? Brother, oh my God, does this girl still think the USB drive she stole is a classified document? I purposely left that USB there. Inside, I copied all 1,000 episodes of the Indian drama Balika Vadu, Child Bride, without subtitles. If she plugs it into her computer, she'll probably get depressed. Mom, I thought she took the fake file I prepared. The one that says Zhou Ruoyu is an alien. Dad, stop joking around, let's see what she's planning to expose. If she dares to touch the Zhou family's reputation, I'll show her what the Zhou Group's 100-man legal team looks like. I sneered and stepped closer to Tang Wan, my gaze sharp enough to pierce through her saintly mask. Tang Wan, do you think you're so smart? Do you think this family is a public market where you can come and go as you please, and steal whatever you want? Oh, that silver USB drive you took from the second drawer of my dad's desk, have you opened it to see what's inside yet? Tang Wan's face drained of every drop of blood. She hastily backed away, pressing herself closely against Ji Mohan, her trembling hands tightly gripping his shirt. Seeing this, Ji Mohan immediately stepped in front to shield her and shouted loudly, Zhou Ruoyu, stop spitting blood and making false accusations. How could Wan possibly do something like stealing? You people have pushed her to this extent, I am definitely calling the police. Call them. Call them right now. I snapped back, pointing my finger straight at the door. Let the police come and check the hidden security cameras in the study to see who sneaked in at midnight and picked the lock on the drawer. While they're at it, they can check that limited edition designer handbag she's carrying right there, and see if that exact USB drive is sitting in the small side pocket. Ji Mohan froze, looking down at the handbag in Tang Wan's hand with eyes full of suspicion. Tang Wan flinched and hurriedly hid the bag behind her back, stammering, "No, you're slandering me." At this moment, my brother, Jose, leisurely walked over, holding a small remote in his hand. He pressed a button, and the LED screen on the stage instantly switched scenes. This time, it wasn't the drone footage, but crystal-clear infrared camera footage showing a figure in pajamas stealthily rummaging through the desk in the study. Tang Wan's face was clearly illuminated by the small flashlight she was holding in her mouth. The entire banquet hall gasped. This time, there were no more whispers, only direct, public criticism. Good heavens, she actually stole it. The Zhou family raised her properly, yet she resorts to thievery. A leopard truly can't change its spots. Young Master Ji picked up a huge liability this time. Taking a thief home as a wife, if he's not careful, she might wipe out the Ji family's entire fortune one day. Those words were like needles piercing straight into Ji Mohan's ego. He let go of Tang Wan, looking at her with a complicated gaze mixed with disappointment and anger. Wan, you actually did this? Tang Wan knew she could no longer deny it. She collapsed to her knees, covering her face and crying bitterly, her tears ruining her makeup. Mohan, listen to me explain. I just wanted to find out why my adoptive parents hate me so much. I didn't have any bad intentions. I've been wronged. Wronged, my ass. Sun Li stepped forward, her voice as cold and majestic as an empress. You stole our family's documents, framed my daughter, and put on an act to harm her in front of all these people. And you call that being wronged? Tang Wan, out of respect for your father, who was once my husband's comrade, we gave you a life of luxury, sent you to an international school, and clothed you in designer brands. But you used those very things to bite the hand that fed you. Today, in front of everyone here, I declare that the Zhou family officially cuts all ties with Tang Wan. From now on, whether you live or die has absolutely nothing to do with us. Every word from my mom fell like a sledgehammer, smashing Tang Wan's last shreds of hope. She slumped onto the floor, looking at Ji Mohan with despairing eyes, as if begging for help. But Ji Mohan, the overbearing CEO who was just swearing eternal love moments ago, now turned his face away, gritting his teeth without saying a word. He had too much pride to defend a thief in front of high society. I looked at that pathetic scene without a single ounce of pity in my heart, I only felt incredibly refreshed. Serves her right. This is the ending for people who love playing the victim to harm others. Me, great job, everyone. The acting in this segment was phenomenal. I give it 100 points. Dad, of course. I told you, whoever messes with our family will end up sleeping on the streets. Brother, wait a minute, the system just notified me of a new variable. Everyone be careful, the plot seems to be swerving. I furrowed my brow slightly. Swerving? What else could possibly happen? Right at that moment, the doors to the banquet hall burst open once again. A middle-aged man in a black suit with a stern face walked in. Behind him were several uniformed security guards. Apologies for interrupting the party, the man spoke in a deep, gravelly voice. I am the legal representative for the Titan Investment Fund. We are here to announce the recall of the G Group's mortgage loan. Hearing the name Titan, Ji Mohan's face instantly turned as white as a sheet of paper. He stumbled forward and stammered, What did you say? Recall? We just signed the contract last week. The lawyer pushed up his glasses and coldly pulled out a stack of documents. Young Master Ji, according to Clause 42 of the contract, if the borrower engages in behavior that seriously affects their personal reputation and image, causing risks to the project, the lender has the right to unilaterally recall the capital immediately. What you have displayed tonight has seriously violated that clause. And because you mortgaged 30% of the G Group's shares, we will proceed to freeze the assets in accordance with the law. Ji Mohan staggered back, his eyes bloodshot, green veins popping on his forehead. He snatched the stack of documents from the lawyer's hands, flipping through the pages with trembling hands. The numbers and bolded clauses were like sharp blades slicing his arrogance to shreds, the arrogance of a crown prince who always thought he was above the heavens. Impossible. Titan is a massive American investment fund. How could they closely monitor a private party in Yunjing? You people set me up. Ji Mohan roared, his manic gaze darting toward my brother. Jose. It's you, Jose. Are you behind this? My brother shrugged, looking extremely laid back, the corner of his lips curling into an evil half-smile. He stepped up to Ji Mohan, patted him on the shoulder, and spoke with a tone of fake pity. Young Master Ji, you overestimate me too much. I'm just a guy with too much free time who likes playing with technology. How would I have the ability to manipulate an international investment fund? You should blame yourself for being careless and signing a contract without carefully reading the capitalist trap clauses. Haste makes waste, don't you even understand such a simple principle? Brother, bro's acting is too deep. I suddenly feel like a Hollywood action movie villain. I wrote this script last month. The Titan Fund is actually a shell I asked some friends on Wall Street to set up. He mortgaged his shares for cash. Now that I'm recalling the funds, those shares automatically flow into the Zhou Group's pockets. I have to bow down to my own brilliant move. Dad, good job, son. When you strike a snake, you must crush its head. If the G Group doesn't go bankrupt tonight, they'll at least lose half their life. Mommy loves the way my son smiled so dangerously. Very much the vibe of a mafia boss. I tried to suppress the excitement surging in my heart. This face-slapping script was truly too satisfying. It not only shattered the green tea's plot but also uprooted this brain-dead male lead once and for all. Ji Mohan completely collapsed. He knew that losing 30% of the shares would plunge the G Group into a severe crisis, and his father's position as chairman would violently shake. He turned to look at Tang Wan cowering on the floor. His gaze shifted from heartbreaking love to extreme resentment. This is all your fault. Ji Mohan lunged forward, grabbing Tang Wan by the collar and hauling her up. If you hadn't played your dirty tricks, hadn't stolen documents, hadn't caused a scene here, my engagement wouldn't have been broken off, and Titan wouldn't have recalled the funds. You're a jinx, you've killed me. Tang Wan struggled in panic, her screams echoing through the hall. Mohan, let me go. It's not my fault, it's Zhou Ruoyu's fault, she forced me. Slap. A heavy slap landed on Tang Wan's tear-stained face. Ji Mohan panted heavily, his eyes lined with terrifying bloodshot veins. You still dare to blame others when the evidence is right there? Do you think I'm blind or deaf? Get lost. Don't ever appear in front of me again. Saying that, he violently threw Tang Wan to the floor, turned around, and quickly walked out of the banquet hall, ignoring the Titan Fund lawyer and the mocking stares of the guests. He had to go home immediately to face his father's wrath and figure out a way to save the G Group. Tang Wan lay flat on the ground, her hair disheveled, her soaked white dress clinging to her body, looking indescribably pathetic. She had lost everything. Lost the protection of the Zhou family, lost the love of the supporting male lead Qin Hao. And now, she was ruthlessly abandoned by the male lead Ji Mohan, her last lifeline. I walked over, the crystal-studded tip of my high heels stopping right in front of her. I leaned down, my voice soft but carrying a bone-chilling sharpness. Tang Wan, do you remember what you said earlier? You said that tonight, everyone would see me as a vicious B***TCH and my parents would kick me out of the house. So what about now? Who is the one getting kicked out? Who is the one totally ruined? Tang Wan looked up at me, her eyes full of venom and despair. She bit her lip until it bled, her voice hoarse. Zhou Ruoyu, don't get cocky. Do you think you've won? You just got lucky. If you didn't have your family backing you up, you'd be nothing. That's right, I have my family backing me up. So what? I burst out laughing, a radiant and proud laugh. My family is my pillar, my strength. As for you, you once had a family willing to protect you, but you destroyed it with your own hands out of greed and jealousy. Don't blame fate, and don't blame anyone else. Every outcome today is your own doing. After saying that, I stood up straight, turned my back, and walked away, not bothering to look at her even one more time. My dad waved his hand at the butler. A few burly bodyguards immediately stepped forward, dragged Tang Wan out of the banquet hall, and threw her along with her meager personal belongings out the villa gates into the pitch-black night. My birthday party continued, but with a completely different atmosphere. No more whispering or judging stares, instead, there were sincere congratulations. Wine glasses were raised to toast the 18th birthday of the Zhou family's eldest miss. I stood in the middle of the brightly lit hall, linking arms with my parents and brother, feeling a complete and unprecedented happiness. Mission accomplished perfectly. Thanks for the cooperation, everyone. Mommy's precious daughter was so cool today. I'm proud of you. Dad, after this incident, the Zhou Group's stock price will definitely soar. Tomorrow, Dad will transfer 10% of the shares to your name as a birthday gift. Brother, hey, what about me? I contributed the most. Dad, you? You get the privilege of continuing to grind and make money to provide for your sister. That's the biggest reward right there. I giggled, watching the three of them bicker in the chat. Whether in the modern world or in this dog blood novel, they were always the ones who loved me the most, ready to bristle and protect me from any storm. Suddenly, the system let out another ear-piercing ding. System warning. Warning. The original script is showing signs of severe collapse. The female lead Tang Wan's resentment energy has exceeded the permissible limit, triggering the hidden plot, the return of the black moonlight. I froze, the smile on my lips vanishing. Black moonlight? What the hell is this now? I hastily opened the system's notification panel to check. Hidden plot info. After being kicked out of the Zhou family, Tang Wan accidentally activated a dark system called the Supporting Female Counterattack System. She is gathering resentment energy to return and take revenge on the Zhou family with the help of a mysterious figure who holds underworld power in Yunjing. Guys, huge plot twist. The system just warned me that Tang Wan activated a dark, supporting female counterattack system. She's about to come back for revenge with the help of some underworld faction in Yunjing. Brother, what? A dark system? Sounds like someone suffering chi deviation in a cultivation novel. Let me try hacking into the traffic camera network to see where she wandered off to last night. Mom, dark or white, even if she turns into a spider demon, Mommy will take a cobweb broom and smash her to pieces. But an underworld faction in Yunjing. Honey, do you have anyone in mind? Dad, in Yunjing, besides the Zhou group and the Ji group, the only underworld faction capable of going against us is the Lei family. Lei Haoyan, the underworld boss who is always trying to wash his hands clean and step into high society. I shivered. Lei Haoyan. This name sounded familiar. I tried to rummage through my memory of the original plot. Right. In the novel, Lei Haoyan was a secondary villain who was deeply obsessed with Tang Wan, but because of his mafia background, he was constantly used by her and then discarded. I didn't expect the butterfly effect created by my family to push Tang Wan straight into this guy's arms earlier than anticipated. Dad is right. Lei Haoyan is her new lifeline. This guy is cold-blooded, ruthless, and uses vicious tactics. He won't be as easy to deal with as those soft, privileged cookie-cutter young masters. Dad, don't worry. Mafia or not, what era are we in to still be using our fists? I'll have someone investigate the Lei family's money laundering activities and get leverage on them before they can make a move. 3 days after the stormy birthday party, the waves seemed to have temporarily settled. The G Group was in dire straits due to the recalled funds, and their stock prices had plummeted miserably. Qin Hao was grounded at home, and the Qing group was struggling to find a new partner to replace the Zhou group. As for Tang Wan, there was no news of her. But I knew this silence was just the calm before a massive storm. And my intuition was right. On Monday morning, just as I stepped through the gates of Yunjing International University, a glossy black Rolls-Royce Phantom glided over and screeched to a halt right in front of me. The car door opened, and a man in a black suit and sunglasses stepped out, respectfully opening the rear door. A woman stepped out of the car. She wore a fiery red silk dress that hugged her curves, her hair styled in large, voluminous curls, and her lips painted bright red. She wore oversized sunglasses that covered half her face. Her luxurious, arrogant aura was completely different from Tang Wan's previous fragile, delicate white lotus persona. She took off her sunglasses, tossed them to the bodyguard, and walked up to me, the corners of her lips curling into a provocative smile. "Good morning, my dear sister. Haven't seen you in a few days, are you still doing well?" I crossed my arms, my eyes skimming over the designer clothes on her body, and sneered. "Doing great, eating well and sleeping soundly. As for you, getting thrown out onto the streets in the middle of the night, yet you managed to find a new gold mine to dig so quickly? Your connection speed is truly faster than a 5G network." Tang Wan wasn't angry at all, on the contrary, she burst out laughing. "Keep mocking me all you want. Zhou Ruoyu, did you think kicking me out of the Zhou family would be the end of it? You're wrong. The game has only just truly begun." She leaned in close to my ear, her voice hissing through her teeth, as cold as snake venom. "My system told me everything. You and your entire damn family are all transmigrators. You stole my halo, ruined my life, and I will make you pay 100,000 times over." I flinched, my pupils contracting. She knows we are transmigrators? Her supporting female counterattack system actually has the ability to read our system's information? This was completely out of my expectations. But I quickly regained my composure, lifting my chin with a cold laugh. "So what if you know? Are you going to call the police to arrest aliens? Or are you going to call the Academy of Sciences to take us away for experiments? You have a system, and so do I," Tang Wan sneered. "Then let's see if your trash system can compete with my family's anti-stupidity system," I shot back. Tang Wan gritted her teeth, a vicious glint flashing in her eyes. "Just you wait. Lei Haoyan won't let the Zhou family off easy. You cut off the G group's lifeline, and the Lei family will take this opportunity to swallow both the Zhou and G groups whole. When that time comes, I'll make you kneel at my feet and lick my shoes." Saying that, she turned on her heel and got into the car. The Rolls-Royce sped away, leaving behind a cloud of dust. I stood frozen, feeling a chill run down my spine. The situation seemed more serious than I thought. Tang Wan knew our biggest secret and had Lei Haoyan's backing. This battle was no longer just about slapping faces with words, it was a life-or-death corporate war, potentially even involving our physical safety. Me, red alert. Tang Wan has appeared, she knows we are transmigrators, and she is using Lei Haoyan's power to target the Zhou group. Brother, damn it. I just discovered the corporation's security network is being subjected to a continuous DDoS attack. Someone is trying to steal our VIP customer data, it's definitely the Lei family's doing. Dad, stay calm. Zay, immediately activate the S-Class firewall and block all suspicious IPs. Li, contact the major shareholders right now and reassure them so that false rumors don't cause internal panic. Mom, understood. I'll organize an afternoon tea party with the shareholders' wives. I guarantee no one will dare pull their capital at a time like this. Dad, and Ruoyu, just go to class normally, don't show any panic. Dad will send extra bodyguards to secretly protect you. Tonight, we'll have a family meeting to plan our counterattack. I took a deep breath, trying to calm down. That's right, I wasn't alone. I had the most overpowered family in the solar system. Whether the enemy was a black and green tea or a mafia boss, we would crush them. That afternoon, right as I finished classes and walked out of the school gates, a group of burly men in black suddenly appeared, blocking my path. The leader, who had a long scar across his face, sneered ominously. "Miss Joe, our boss, Mr. Lay, would like to invite you over for a cup of tea." I took a step back, slipping my hand into my jacket pocket and tightly gripping the pepper spray my brother had prepared for me. "And if I say no? Then we'll just have to invite you to come along using another method," the scar-faced man winked. His subordinates immediately stepped forward, forming a tight circle around me. The bodyguards my dad sent tried to rush out, but they were pinned down from afar by another group of the Lay family's men. It was a situation hanging by a thread. Just at this moment, the blaring sound of police sirens echoed from afar. In the blink of an eye, police cruisers surrounded the entire area in front of the school gates. Heavily armed SWAT officers jumped out of their vehicles, pointing their guns at the Lay family's men. "Nobody move. Drop your weapons and put your hands on your heads." The stern voice of the Special Forces captain rang out through a megaphone. The Lay family's men panicked and obediently raised their hands in surrender. I breathed a sigh of relief, my legs turning to jelly as I almost collapsed. From one of the police cars, my brother, Jose, stepped out. Holding an iPad in his hand, he smiled and waved at me. "Brother, surprised, old girl? Your bro just hacked the security cameras in this area. Saw you getting surrounded, so I called the cops immediately. The charge of organized kidnapping and extortion is enough to put them behind bars for a few years. Lei Haoyan wants to play mafia with me? I'll show him the power of the law." Upon returning to the Joe family villa, I flopped down heavily onto the goose-down sofa, letting out a massive sigh of relief. My brother, Jose, put his iPad into his backpack and smugly flipped his bangs. "See how reliable your brother is? A bunch of all bark no bite gangsters trying to compete with the Joe Group's AI-driven cameras? Called the cops and had them bagged in a split second." My mom walked out of the kitchen carrying a tray of honey chrysanthemum tea. She shoved a cup into my hands to calm my nerves, then turned to glare at my brother. "Next time you do something, give us a heads up." Good thing she didn't lose a single piece of skin, otherwise I'd shave your head and use you as plant fertilizer. At that moment, my dad walked down from his study. Unlike his tense demeanor from the afternoon, a highly refreshing smile was blooming on his lips. "Dad, trash removal mission complete. Kids, turn on the TV." I hurriedly grabbed the remote and turned on the Yunjing news channel. A female anchor with a serious expression was reading the breaking news. "Ladies and gentlemen, at 6 p.m. this evening, the Yunjing City Economic and Criminal Police Forces simultaneously dismantled a massive illegal money laundering, racketeering, and gambling ring. The ringleader, Lei Haoyan, along with dozens of his subordinates, were arrested on the spot, and all assets have been sealed for investigation." I dropped my jaw, turning to look at my dad. "So fast? How did you do it, Dad?" My dad leisurely took a sip of tea and pushed up his glasses. "What do you think I was doing sitting in my study all afternoon?" Lei Haoyan wanted to wash his hands clean and invest in real estate projects, but he didn't know that his chief accountant was bought off by me half a year ago. The entire black ledger containing evidence of the Lei family's tax evasion and money laundering. I carefully packaged it into a 5 GB PDF file and sent it straight to the email inbox of the chief of police. Plus, the organized kidnapping attempt on you this afternoon, with the video provided by Zay acting as the last straw, it would be weird if the police didn't wipe out their entire nest. Absolute peak. The older the ginger, the spicier it gets. I gave a double thumbs up, bowing down in pure admiration. It was true, no matter how cool the mafia seemed in novels, in real life, they still had to bow down to the law. But what about Tang Wan? As if reading my mind, the TV screen switched to another scene. In front of a cordoned-off nightclub, the reporter's camera panned to a woman in a red silk dress being handcuffed and escorted into a special police vehicle by 2 female officers. Her voluminous curly hair was now as messy as a bird's nest, and her makeup was smeared with tears. It was Tang Wan. It is reported that a female suspect named Tang X, Lei Haoyan's new mistress, was also arrested on charges of masterminding an organized kidnapping for ransom and stealing commercial secrets. The expected sentence is no less than 10 years in prison. I stared at the screen, seeing Tang Wan's lips moving continuously as if she was screaming something into the air. Suddenly, the system in my head sounded a notification. But this time, it wasn't the familiar mechanical tone, it was a crackling sound, like radio static. Warning. Host Tang Wan's supporting female counterattack system has depleted its resentment energy due to the destruction of her biggest backer. Initiating self-destruct sequence. 3, 2, 1, deletion successful. At that exact moment, I saw Tang Wan on the TV screen suddenly roll her eyes back and collapse to the ground. The female lead's halo, the dark system, all the golden fingers she clung to had now vanished into thin air. She officially returned to being a nobody with empty hands, facing a prison sentence brought upon by her own greed and viciousness. Ding! The villain family anti-stupidity system would like to announce that the original plot has been completely shattered. Male lead Ji Mohan, bankrupt and working as a waiter to pay off debts. Supporting male lead Qin Hao, sent abroad by his family to fend for himself. Female lead Tang Wan, sentenced to prison. The threat has been 100% eliminated. Mission accomplished perfectly. The system will now automatically deactivate to return the hosts to their normal lives. Wishing the Zhou family a forever savage-mouthed, slaying, and happy life. Goodbye. The light blue screen in my head flickered a few times before disappearing completely. The family chat channel also vanished, but I didn't feel a sense of loss at all. On the contrary, a profound sense of relief and freedom spread throughout my body. From now on, we were no longer supporting characters strung along by some dog-blood script. We were the masters of our own lives. My mom smiled and reached out to rub my head. It's done. I can finally go shopping and get beauty treatments in peace without worrying about some green TB*TCH jumping out and crying dramatically. Tomorrow, Mommy will book tickets for the whole family to go to the Maldives for a 1-week vacation. Awesome. I'll bring my newly upgraded drone to shoot a vlog. My brother, Zhou Zhe, cheered. My dad, Zhou Jianfeng, cleared his throat lightly, trying to look serious, but his eyes were full of smiles. We can go on vacation. But Ruoyu, don't forget you have final exams next week. Just because we resolved the drama doesn't mean you can skip school. I pouted, hugging my dad's arm and acting spoiled. Dad, your daughter just saved the entire clan. You wouldn't have the heart to make me study right now, would you? The entire living room was filled with joyous laughter. Looking at my parents and brother, my heart swelled with warmth. Transmigrating into an angst-filled, dog-blood novel and becoming the vicious supporting female character was probably the unluckiest thing. But being able to stand alongside my loved ones, using our wits, our unbreakable unity, and our gracefully toxic mouths to smash all dark schemes, was the luckiest thing in my life. The green tea had her system, the male lead had his halo, and the mafia had their power. But none of them knew that my family didn't just have brains, we had a bond that nothing could break. Never mess with my family, because the price to pay is something they can never afford to bear. My new life has only just truly begun, more radiant and proud than ever before. The end.